In this video, I'm going to redesign 3 t-shirts on RedBubble so that you can learn the techniques that I use to create t-shirts that sell. Let's go! Thanks for joining me on this video. My name is Juna with Detour Shirts, the channel all about helping you design and sell t-shirts online. Earlier, I put in a post on YouTube asking for your help. I wanted to redesign some of your shirts, and I got a lot of responses. I'm only picking 3 of those. Thank you so much for commenting on my post. I really wish I could help all of you, but just because of the time that it takes to do these, I only have time to do 3 of them, and maybe I'll do some more in the future if this video works out really well. So you're going to want to stay to the end of this video so that you can see all 3 redesigns as well as another addition of trend credits. So let's get into it. So the first comment I picked was from Ivana94. Here's the comment, and let's look at the design. This is where the link takes me here. Mama needs more coffee. So I'm going to redesign this. This is what most new designers do. They just put text on a t-shirt. I think we can do a little bit better than that. But let me go into Affinity Designer right now and show you how I would redesign this t-shirt. So here we are in Affinity Designer. You can see I just took a screenshot of what I just showed you from RedBubble. Mama needs more coffee. So here's what my plan is. First of all, let me show you some of the good things about this. So this design, it is the right shape. So it is taller than it is longer. It is in the right place. It's right over the chest area of the t-shirt. So good on there. And this person is using 2 fonts to give it interest. So it's not just one font on a t-shirt. They are actually using a script font and a serif font here, and then a script font, again, the same one. So that does give it a little bit of interest. So that is a little better than just putting the same font on a t-shirt. Things to improve on here, though, is you want to add a little more interest than this. One of the things you can do to add more interest is to add a graphic. In this case, you can add a coffee cup or something like that because it is talking about coffee. So that is the graphic that I would choose to put in here. And that needs more. I'm going to change that font. Serif fonts, a lot of the serif fonts are kind of hard to read because they're thin in some places. So I'm going to use a different font. So here's what I'm going to do. So first, I'm going to take that shape. It doesn't have to be this exact shape here, but you can see we're doing it taller. And I'm going to use this artwork here. So I talked about using a coffee cup. I just drew this coffee cup. You can see here, I'm going to click on it. You can see the points here. All I did was draw it, click, click, click with a pen tool. Same thing with the saucer, click, click. So really easy coffee cup. And then I'll show you what fonts I'm using. So the next thing is I'm adding fonts. So this font here is Glorious Sunday Script here. You can see right here in my fonts palette. And the next one is Glorious Sunday Title. They're both made by the same company. This is why they work really well together. One's the script, one's the title. You can see here, they kind of look like a handwritten font. And then I added that cup here right below it. I still have some white space here. I'm going to fill it with something. And you can see here the letters are kind of touching each other. So I'm going to have to fix that. So that's what I did. Next, I came in here. I'm filling in that space, that white space. I figured I'll just do kind of the steam from the coffee cup. And then I moved the letters up a little bit. You can see here now I changed this font into an object so that I can push and pull things. You can see here I can move lines like this. That's how you do that. And so none of the letters are touching, and I have some white space. I'm creating some interest here. So the shape is still taller than wider here. It's all kind of connected. 2 fonts to give it interest. The next thing I do is I reverse it. Here is just a black background. I'm using white letters to have it stand out. Now here's the difference between the 2. So you can see, I'll zoom in here. Mama needs more coffee. Here is the original. Mama needs more coffee. Here is my redesign. You can see it's all kind of more connected. There's less space in between the words. It's easier to read, but there's a lot more interest because of the design here, the cup of coffee. I added a plus sign to kind of coordinate with more, so more coffee. So you can see kind of how it lays out here. So that's my redesign. Of course, this isn't a perfect redesign, but we are creating a little more interest. We have the graphic there, and hopefully people that love coffee want to get this because it clearly says Mama needs more coffee. So that's my redesign number 1. Let's look at another design on RedBubble. So the next comment was from Nadir. Here's his comment on my YouTube post. By clicking that link, it will take me here to his design. His design is everyone was thinking it, I just said it. So this is one of the trends I showed in one of my recent videos. This is great that he's following a trend. So let's go into Affinity Designer and I'll show you what I did to redesign this one. Here we are in Affinity Designer. I took the screenshot here so you can see it. Everyone was thinking it, I just said it. So let me show you what I like about this. So there's some good things. Again, it's the right shape. It's in the right place on the t-shirt. It's big. Graphics give it some interest. So there's a star here. There's some banners. So the things that I want to improve on this is I think the color can be improved. I think the saw, I'm not sure what the 2 saws have to do with this thing. I'm going to limit it to 2 fonts instead of all these fonts that are here. This just font, the font that's using for the word just here is hard to read. So I'm going to make this easier to read as well. So those are the things that I think we can improve on here. So let me show you what I did. So the first thing, of course, is the shape. I'm going to keep it to this tall rectangle. I'm going to use these shapes, maybe a heart and a talking bubble. And the talking bubble is because I just said it. So I'm going to use that as my graphic for I just said it. And so here's the fonts that I'm using. I'm using one of my favorite fonts, Veneer. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link up here to my 5 favorite fonts here. So Veneer was my favorite here. I'm just putting it on an arc here just to give it a little more interest. I'm actually taking that inspiration from this design. You can see there's an arc here and an arc here in the banner. So I'm kind of using that idea as well. The arc here and the arc here down here. I'm using 2 different fonts. The other font is called Montana Rough. So that's the script font here. Both of these fonts kind of have that distressed look, which I really like, so I don't have to add that to it. I'm using some hearts here, and there's that talking bubble for I said it here. So it's kind of tying in everything. So the next thing I'm going to do is just add that roughness, that distressed look to the talking bubble. You can see here, it didn't have it here. And one way I do that is just take some of this distress from the letters and add it to the talking bubble. I'm not going to show you how I did that in this video, but that's what I did, just so everything together has that distressed look. So the next thing I'm going to do is reverse it. I'm just making everything white. So I believe dark shirts sell better than white shirts, so I wanted to make sure there's a dark design as well. Here's his original design. Here's my redesign next to it. You can see I'm using the same colors, but you don't have to. I was going to change this to red. So this is just to show you with the same colors. I think this one still stands out a little more. This text is really bold, so it's easier to read. That's why I love using Veneer. And then this adds some interest, this script font here. Just the 2 script fonts, as well as the graphics. Now they relate to the saying. Instead of, I'm not sure what the saw meant. Maybe it does mean something, but there's a disconnect for me, so I just use this instead, just said it for the talking bubbles. So you can see here what it would look like on a black as well. My design, just white text on a black shirt. I think that would do really well. I think you could still add another color, maybe another light color here for like I'm using here. That would do well too. So here's my redesign. This is redesign number 2. Again, it's not a perfect redesign, but you can see it's a little bolder, easier to read. There's some interest here by having the arc and the different fonts and the graphics. So everyone was thinking it. I just said it. This is my redesign number 2. So the last one I'm going to share with you in this video, the comment was from JJ. Here's his comment here. And clicking on the link, it will take you here to RedBubble. This is his design by JJ. You can see here it is Work from Home Employee of the Month. It has a trophy on it. So let's go into Affinity Designer and I'll show you how I plan to redesign this one. So we're back here in Affinity Designer. You can see here is the shirt. There are a couple of good things about this one as well. It is in the right shape. The words are clear. They can easily be read. So the graphics do match the saying Employee of the Month. It's a award, so an award trophy, so it matches. The things I want to improve though here is the design is way too big on this t-shirt. So one thing for new designers, you want to go and look at t-shirts in the store or online. Just look up some nice t-shirts that are being sold. Look at the size of the design. Maybe take a screenshot or put it on Pinterest. Just figure out the right size because this is just a little bit too big. I know people say to make it big so people can see it, but you also have to think of people that are going to wear it. And when someone sees this, they may not want something this big on their shirt. The next thing is I'm going to help with some interest here. You can see it's just a graphic and then some words just in 3 lines with the same font. Nothing super interesting. So I'm going to use a couple of fonts, make them bigger and smaller just to give more interest to this design. So first thing first, shape and artwork. I'm actually going to use the same trophy. So I just traced this trophy here and made it black. And then I'm going to use this wreath kind of thing. Let me show you how I did this. All you do is do this shape right here and then copy this shape over and over and over to make this wreath pattern. And then this is just a circle, of course. So I'm going to use that. That's going to be my artwork, more for that Employee of the Month, that award kind of thing. So I'm going to play on that. So here's what I did. So I took the trophy, added the wreath on the left and the right. Because there was a star here, I've started to use other stars on the left and the right. I put Work from Home at the top. I did that arch because this trophy has that natural curve to the top, so I thought I would play on that. The font I'm using here is Superstar M54. You can see here, it's kind of that athletic font, the big slab serif font. I've used it before. That's the same font here as well. It's just on an arc here. And then the other font I'm using is Thirsty Soft. You can see it's a script font. One of the tips that I'd like to share with you on this is sometimes you want to use some fonts that you may not be able to type. And so this isn't one of them because, let me show you here. If you look to the left of your one, there's that, I think it's called the tilde or something, but you just hold down Shift and press on it and you get that. But if you wanted to use some other things, you can go here to the glyphs panel of your Affinity Designer. Open that up. So look at all these that you may not know you had. And so you could use some interesting things like 2 letters together, or there's some interesting things down here. Let's say I wanted to use this, TM, or this long thing, or, you know, T and I close together. So every font packet has a few of these special characters, and you'll never know unless you actually click the glyph browser here. So every font, if you pick any of these fonts here, you can see the different fonts. So that's how you do it, just if you need those. Just a special tip in Affinity Designer. Not using that here, of course, but you could use some special things here. So that's adding the fonts. Let me show you what else I did. Of course, I reversed it because black t-shirts sell better than white t-shirts. So here it is, just changing everything to white. So the next thing I wanted to do is add some color. And here it is with yellow and white. Yellow stands out really well on black. So like they used there, I kind of followed the colors he had before, yellow and white. So why not? Those 2 colors work really well. So yellow trophy and Work from Home and Employee, those 2 were the same font. So I'm going to make those the white and everything else yellow. And here's the two side by side. You can see I also sized it down just a little bit. So this is kind of the size we're going for when people wear it on t-shirts. And here's the two together. This is my redesign. Again, it's not perfect, but I think it does a good job of creating some interest. The size is the right size that we want now, and it's easy to read. And I'm using the same graphic as he did with the trophy, so I thought that was great. So JJ, I'm gonna send you, as well as everyone else here that I use theirs, I'm gonna send a PNG of the redesigns that I did, and I'll send them to you guys so that you can put it on your Redbubble shop and hopefully get some sales with these. Let me know how they work. Go to the About tab in my channel, in my YouTube channel, and email me so that I can send you these PNGs for your shop. So here's the recap. Here are all three of the designs that I did today in this video. Mama needs more coffee. Everyone was thinking it. I just said it. And work from home employee of the month. You can see they all look a little bit different. They all have some interest. They all have some graphics. Graphics and text do really well on t-shirts. Hopefully this video was really helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you like to see these designs, these redesign videos. I just thought it would be a really good video to give back to some of you that follow me, as well as show you some tips and tricks that I do on my designs so that you can use them in your designs and make sales this Q4. If this video gave you some value, make sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to this video if you're not subscribed already. Thanks so much for staying till the end, and don't forget another edition of Trend Credits. Thanks so much for staying till the end for this Trend Credits. Here's your trend. Old geometry. You can see the BSRs are really low here. It's a funny pun on geometry and Christmas tree. So old geometry. Look at these low BSRs. This is awesome. So again, let's check Merch Informer. It's getting an A. If you don't have Merch Informer, I have a link in the description for you. Merch Informer has a good deal right now in Q4, so you might want to get it. Looking back here, old geometry. Of course, don't copy these. Make your own geometry, as well as some other trees you could do, like old chemistry, old history. Maybe that one doesn't work as well, but you get the idea. You can do this for a lot of different words here. Old geometry is just one of them. Do your own design on this one. Have fun with this. Think back to when you were in high school and doing geometry. So that is my trend for this video. Thanks so much for staying all the way till the end. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, guys, keep creating and keep learning. See you on the next one. Bye.